this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, we're being tracked every day anyway, through the use of our mobile phones. I suppose what I think is, some people complain about immigration. Some people complain about people complaining about immigration. You know, we all need to do whatever we can to support the government to manage immigration. And identity cards are a way of doing that. It's something people have been calling for a while. And I think it needs to be thought through. I was surprised at the announcement yesterday, which did seem to come out of the blue. I think people need to be prepared for this, but I think ultimately it's the right thing to do.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about this. Imagine a future where your entire identity, like your driver's license, your passport, or even your bank account, is no longer in your wallet, but in your phone, in the cloud, or even tied to your biometrics. You see, governments call it the future of efficiency, but critics call it the future of surveillance. Today, I want to dive deep into digital IDs, what they are, who's rolling them out, and why they matter, and whether the world is quietly being signed into a one system. So, what is a digital ID? A digital ID is basically your identity in electronic form. Instead of showing a physical driver's license or a passport, you use a digital credential that proves who you are. This could be stored in a secure app, sometimes called a digital wallet, or tied to biometrics like your fingerprints or your facial recognition. Your biometrics is using your features like your facial recognition or your fingerprints. So, in theory, digital IDs make life easier, like fewer passwords, faster verification, and less paperwork. Less paperwork. But here's the catch. Once your identity is digital, who controls it? And how much privacy do you really have left? So, who's rolling out the digital IDs? So, let's look at the global rollout. We got India. Their system covers 1 billion people using biometrics like fingerprints and iris scan. It's like the largest digital ID project in the world. And we have Estonia. It's a pioneer in a digital government, Citizens there use EID for everything: voting, taxes, healthcare, and we have the European Union. They say by 2026, every EU country must provide a digital identity wallet under their regulations. That's hundreds of millions of people. And we have Africa. Many countries there are adopting digital IDs with support from the World Bank ID 4D program. And now you have the United States. Now, there isn't a single national ID yet, but states are experimenting. Like you might already have a mobile driver's license in your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet. So, no, there's not one global ID yet, but there are hundreds of national and regional systems being built. And here's where it gets interesting. They're starting to talk about interoperability. That's a big word, interoperability. So, why are they pushing so hard for digital IDs? You see, the governments give a few reasons. One, efficiency, less bureaucracy. Imagine renewing your license in minutes, not weeks. Two, security, harder to forge and it's easier to track fraud. Three, inclusion, for people without access to banks or traditional IDs, digital identity can open those doors. Four, economy. Digital IDs help fintech, online commerce, and global trade. Five, control. See, this one's always never said out loud. But digital IDs give governments powerful oversight over who people are, where they go, and what they access. And that last point is why critics are very concerned. So we have risk and controversy. You see, here's where the debate gets heated. Critics warn that digital IDs could become surveillance tools. Every time you log in or make a purchase or even enter a building, it leaves a digital trail. And unlike losing a physical wallet, if your digital identity is hacked, your entire life could be compromised. And now we have the privacy advocates. They also are worried about, the function. It's kind of creepy. Today, your ID helps you get government services, and tomorrow, maybe you need it to access social media, buy groceries, or even travel. So let's see. Some see digital IDs as, being convenient. Others see them as the foundation of a digital control grid. So globally, digital IDs are moving forward and fast. You got the United Nations, you got the World Bank, and even the G20. They're talking about digital identity as part of the digital public infrastructure. We got resistance, which is growing big. Like in Kenya, they have lawsuits that have challenged the biometric ID programs. And then in the UK, earlier attempts at national ID card faced a massive public backlash. And in the US, we have civil liberty groups that are pushing back against anything that looks like a national ID. So while the rollouts are happening worldwide, the pace depends on how much pushback governments are facing. So is it global digital ID coming? Probably not going to get a one single universal system, but more likely we'll get a network of connected national and regional IDs. Think of it like a passport for each country, and they issue their own, but they're accepted internationally. Like you got the EU wallet, and we have Africa's ID programs, and we have Asia's biometric system, and they could all eventually link up, and create that de facto global ID system, even if no one calls it that, they can link up that way. So, is the digital ID rollout happening worldwide? Yes, but it's not a single global rollout. It's like a patchwork of national and regional systems moving at different speeds. See, the real question isn't whether digital ID is coming, it's already here. The question is, what kind of system will it be? Will it be one that empowers people or one that controls them? Let me know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you embrace a digital ID for convenience? Or would you fight to protect your privacy? Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, because next time we'll dig deep into how this digital IDs might connect to the rise of the central bank digital currency. Thanks for watching my channel. Until next time, bye-bye.